Hey guys, what's up? I'm bringing you just a casual talk through slash replay of me on the ladder. The opponent is mid-masters, as am I. And yeah, it's gonna be a sick TvZ. It's gonna be incorporating the build that I've been kind of working on these days. It's like a Reaper fast expand, followed up by a reactor on barracks and tech lab on factory to get early tanks. And try to defend with bunkers and marines and tanks. Because I've been noticing, because of how Life won the MLG, using a lot of Ling Bane aggression, because the Terrans would be trying to go bio Widow Mine, but when these all-ins with Lings and Banelings hit, they didn't have enough Widow Mines in the end. There's like a trick you can do to kind of dodge the AI of the Widow Mine, because if it doesn't activate within 1.25 seconds of like spotting the target, it has to restart to cooldown. It's kind of weird, but pretty awesome at the same time. But yeah, so this is going to incorporate me getting a 12 barracks and 12 gas, so which means my gas is going to be slightly earlier. I'm going to delay one SCV, but that's not too big of a deal because with that extra gas that I get a bit early, I'm going to make a Reaper before I start my orbital, well, after I start my orbital command, and at the same time as I make a secondary supply depot. And yeah, I'm gonna try and find him, so I think I go out with this SCV to scout top and then cross map while I'll rally my Reaper across sideways. And yeah, that's how I kind of figure out where the opponent is, so my Reaper can get the opponent's base as efficiently as possible. Hopefully snag a drone killer or so, and here comes a orbital command. And I just have enough now, so I put the supply depot before the Reaper. And the Reaper should be coming out any time now, and the SCV, as I said before, is going up north to scout if the Zerg might have spawned there. It's quite easy to spot a Zerg because they will usually fast expand. Unless they early pull, in which case you're awesome because you have a wall finished up. Reaper's coming out. You can also repair against 6 or 10 pull. You should be fine, and the SCV spot side is not north, so he's going to go over here. And the Reaper's directly going to go flat ground ways. I do produce a secondary Reaper, and now I should be saving up for my second command center. And I do believe maybe I get a third Reaper in this game. Sometimes I only get 2, sometimes I get 1, depends on how micro-intensive I want it to be. And look on production tab, I do see that the Roach Horn is on the way. I wonder if I will see this or not. I'm scouting around. I see gas, I see pool. I see he's mined more than 100 gas. I'm like, oh shit, oh fuck. And I nearly get away, but he has some pretty nice micro over here where he gets it with the drone. So right now I've killed 0 workers, but I spot the Roach Horn. But I do believe I didn't remember to check it in game, and I saw it afterwards, and I was like, wait, what was that? Was it a baling nest or a Roach Horn? So I knew some sort of aggression was coming out of the Zerg opponent, so I do pop out a bunker. I do pull back my Reaper. I only made 2 this game, and I lost the first one. So I'm just down to the only 1. And yeah, he's quite far ahead. He's making a bunch of roaches now. I am actually ahead in harvesters because he's kind of committed pretty hard to some aggressive units. He's droning after this though, and my bunker should finish in time, and I'm just gonna have to buy time for this factor to be able to pump out a tank so I can place it here or here, depending on how defensive I want to get. The Reaper has to get inside. Has to get inside before. Okay, cool. He gets in. The worker is out as well. He's gonna start trying to repair it, but there's not enough on the low ground to pull the repairs, so I do pull the command center back up. If this saves me a bunch of worker deaths, then this is totally worth it. But if he manages to break through here, I'm going to be in a bit of trouble. So I do send a bunch of workers to try and defend this. And this whole meantime, my objective is to get this tank out. That probably looks really low, but it does look like the 3 SCVs are going to be enough to start healing them back up. Behind this, the Zerg is droning like hell, and he's caught up in workers. 7 more are going to pop out. So he's going to be ahead by 7. Gonna be at 30 drones to my 23 CVs, and I don't even have orbital upgrade for this command center, but the tank does come out, so he does have to pull back out now. And from this position, I know I'm behind. I really need to start taking some risks to perhaps get my way back into this game. I don't quite saturate my second gas just because I'm kind of stockpiling some right now. The second tank is coming on the way. I'm going to start building on the low ground to try and retake the low ground with the bunker and with siege tank defense this time. And my orbital command upgrade finishes, so I do float it down, which means I'm going to have double mules to hopefully try and catch up a bit in the income tab. I'm slightly below. I do have more gas intake at this point just because I am producing those expensive tanks, which are really good against holding baneling attacks and roach attacks. And lings are just generally bad against walls. You need either roaches or banelings to break through that wall before the lings are going to start getting effective. I do leave this bunker for a while just in case secondary all-in does come in and break through to the low ground. But with the third tank on the way, I should be relatively safe from any sort of all-in attempt at bunker here as well. These supply depots, quite easy to break through, but I mean, I just want him to waste banelings or delay time if he's going to do a roach all-in. But at this point, he does have a significant worker lead. I do throw down a third command center, knowing that I'm pretty safe with my tank count at this point. I do get a free overlord there for no reason, which is nice for me. As you can see, he's only lost 200 resources worth of stuff. I've lost 800, close to 900 resources, and I'm just desperately trying to produce constant workers and try to catch up. See, I'm still stuck on one factory and one barracks. I do probably want to get my infantry upgrades because I'm going to go into bio tank. You know, I mean, it's kind of an old school unit composition, but I mean, why fix what isn't broke, right? So I'm going to go up to 3 barracks and keep up constant siege tank production, dumping most of my current gas into that. I will slowly take these 2 gases too, so I can pour that extra gas into medevacs as well as infantry upgrades. Worker tab isn't too bad. My income is pretty good just because my double mules are out in the field. 101 is started. 101 is also started for him, which is carapace as well as missile attacks. My third command center is done. Once it becomes an orbital, I can start using it to macro up. Having that extra basic reduction is pretty useful. I do scan. I see the Spire double evolution chambers. It looks like he cancelled the missile attacks and decided to go melee. I see a macro hatch, so I'm thinking maybe he doesn't have a third yet. But hopefully I will scout that out soon, and I'm feeling really safe though with these four tanks in this defensive position. I did see the mutas. That's totally fine because my double reactors are going to finish soon, which means I'm going to have a lot of marine production. The only problem is I don't have any marine upgrades. I haven't had a tech lab on our barracks yet. I do believe I'll put one on this one. Overseer does come in to scout. I'm setting up missile turrets to try and defend any sort of muta attack. But I feel like I really need to start catching up on the economy side of things, so I do think I move out closer onto this position so I can take this pocket expansion with this third command center. Yeah, and with a 5th tank, I do believe I can set up a powerful enough perimeter to hold off any weird all-ins. So I'm building up the 4 barracks, a starport factory. This should be pretty good, but this is a critical move right here. I make my mistake. I sent all my tanks clumped up over here to the front to try and siege up all at once, but then his lings do surround most of my stuff, and I'm just stuck back to the low, just 1 count of tanks, and behind this he is sitting at a really comfortable worker number. I am actually caught up, and I have actually overtaken my opponent in terms of upgrades. My 5th barracks is on the way as well as an armory. My 1-1 is going to finish a bit before the army finishes, so my 2-2 is going to be delayed, but it shouldn't be too big of a deal because I am planning to sit back and macro up on 3 bases after this. Should really secure 2 more SCVs into that gas, but I should probably do that soon. And as you can tell, I'm making my starport really late. Like, normally people get it pretty early to do some sort of drops, maybe to back up a timing attack, but my plan is to just sit back and macro up and be safe behind tanks and a wall. So I don't need medevacs to be mobile out on the map. I'll need them later to support my large numbers of marines, just because it's advantageous to have that sustain in your army. And Stim is actually just starting at the 14-minute mark. Um, as I do push out to secure my third base, the Lings do come over here, and they kind of test the waters and decide not to go in. That was a lot of Marines over here. He saw at least 2 tanks. The third one is sieged up on the high ground. Would have been unwise for him to engage just with Lings as well. And look at the upgrades. 1-1 is done, Stim is coming up, 2-2 is coming up, and the Zerg opponent has a bunch of upgrades, pathogen glands for the infestors, centrifugal hooks, bending speed, burrows coming up, +2 carapace and melee attacks are both coming on the way, and he's droning pretty hard. He has caught back up to my number of workers, but I do obviously have an economic lead right now. As long as I succeed to defend this third base, get it saturated, get it running, let it pay for itself, then I should be in pretty good position. And to ensure that nothing weird happens and he doesn't kill all my Marines with a bunch of banelings, I do start building some bunkers, some random SCVs scattered around to create some chokes, which my army can hide behind if he tries to move in with a lot of Lings and banelings. Even infestors, because bunkers just straight up counter infestors because you can't fungal what's inside a bunker, right? So I am building some supply depots to kind of fortify this area even further, and I have +1 vehicle weapons coming out on the way as well, which should finish nicely in time with 2-2. I have added, yes, the 7th barracks, 7th and 8th barracks. So I have a bunch of production coming in on the way, and this is going to be really good because my 3-base economy is going to kick in pretty soon. I have transferred a bunch of SCVs over to this third, and I'm close to maximum saturation, and he does come in with a bunch of Ling and Baneling, but my Marines are pre-spread quite nicely. I do micro over here a little bit to pull the Banelings into my tanks, and with his bunker surviving as well as his number of Marines and 2 siege tanks surviving, I do kind of swat back the Zerg horde, and I have taken a slight supply advantage, but that should level out again once he hits some inject cycles, and I should really start deciding which add-ons to put on my extra barracks, because if he does go for Ultralisk, I really want that Marauder count to be high up there. And it looks like he's making another Spire, or did he cancel? Yeah, he canceled that Spire that I scanned earlier. So he has decided to retake a Spire, maybe going to Broodlords after this, but I do add a 4th command center, because I do want to make sure I'm on the 3-base economy when my main runs out of resources. I do have access to 3-3 right now, but I just don't have the money required to do that right now. And I'm actually bolstering this wall back up to its former glory. Now my Marines do have Stimpak and combat shields with medevac support. I'm slightly oversaturated at my 3rd. I could spread those. Actually, no, I'm oversaturated at all bases. I could have a few more over here, but that wouldn't make too big of a difference. I do invest in 3-3 right now, while I kind of poke at the opponent, see what he has with a few drops. I want to know what his tech situation is, and just making sure he doesn't attack me right now, because I do want him to engage onto me when I have a complete wall around here. I do add a secondary factory in case I do start losing some tanks in next engagements. I do want to be able to reproduce my mech units pretty fast, because I have started +2 attack on the vehicles as well. And investing that kind of upgrades into a unit, you probably want to be able to make a lot of them into the late game. And Hive is about to finish for the Zerg. We'll see what kind of tech he wants to invest into, because right now it looks like he is still going for Ling, Baneling, and perhaps I feel like, okay, so 3-3 has started. There's also Adrenal Glands, so a Ling based with some Ultras coming out on the way as well with Infestors. So if you get some key fungals onto my army, which is a bit harder than it was before just because it's not an instant cast kind of thing anymore, it's like a projectile that you can kind of dodge and split away from. If you can delay until Ultralisks pop out, and my tank count isn't too high, and with my Marauder count being just at 4 right now, I do feel like the Zerg could perhaps push me back, but I am double the Zerg supply at this point. I have been able to macro up quite nicely. My 4th base is up and running. I'm adding 2 bunkers over here to try and defend against any sort of run-bys that does perhaps might be attempted at, and I'm clearing the creep in my attack path. I don't want to see, let the Zerg see exactly what my army is doing and stuff, and some nice fungals coming out from the infestors, and I do stim in to try and pick some of them off, but a lot of them are so low I have to pull back and I have to really frantically start spreading these marines, because I have a lot of medevac 6, which is quite good, and they all have a lot of energy, so they should be able to heal all this up, but it just takes some time. But he is making 11 Ultralisks. My 3-3 is about to finish. Pretty sure I do probably want to wait until 3-3 is fully finished before I do really start engaging into the opponent. A 5th command center is being made. I do start picking away at this hatchery and the workers that work there. He does kind of poke in to try and bait my bio into some more fumbles, but I do pull back conservatively, move my tanks a bit closer. But 14 Ultralisks are in production. I do manage to take out this base. I do believe he has this base. Yeah, he has it, but it's not really saturated at this point. And here come the Ultras. I do stim in to move forward and try and defend my tanks, but the fungals do hold them down. I am not able to micro against these at all. And just right now, I just want to try and conserve these medevacs because they are so crucial, and they do cost a lot of gas. They cost 100 gas each. At this point, I do have quite a nice bank, though. It's probably because I probably need some more production facilities. I am queuing up a lot more marauders than I am making marines. Tanks are obviously coming out 2 at a time, but the Zerg thinks it's a good time to counterattack now, and this is, to be honest, a mistake. He should really have pulled back to consolidate and make some more Lings and Banelings to get into this army, because Lings and Banelings are so good with this unit composition. And I do start having tanks on the high ground, which will be able to fire down onto these Ultralisks, who are just trying to destroy this worthless wall. You know, I mean, like, there's no units there anymore, so there's no point in staying there. Might as well try to take down this base, or even this base, because I can't lift off that planetary fortress. But it is taking out a lot of the workers. I am starting to rack up some kills on those tanks on the high ground, and my bio reinforcements are pretty good. So I do manage to push this back, and he is yet again down in supply. I'm back up to 4 tanks. I should start rebuilding this wall again, and think about taking this 5th base position, just because yeah, my natural is pretty much out. I have transferred a lot of them away. A lot of them are going here, but I mean, I have no mining in the main, so right now I'm on 2 base saturation. I do want to be back up onto that 3 base saturation. I am getting +3 attacks for the vehicle weapons, and that's really helping me out against these Ultralisks and armored units like the Infestors or even Roaches or Banelings, just because tanks can one-shot a lot of things with the +3 attack. And I am constantly producing a nice mix of Marines, Marauders, tanks, and my medevac count throughout this game has been high enough that I haven't needed to rebuild a lot of them. And it does look like there are no Lings around the map to scout for these kinds of expansion. That's really a waste by the Zerg, because one burrowed Ling there just costs the Terrans so much time, so much concentration to get rid of, and there's no real reason why not to do it. My army is not too big, but I am confident in my upgrades at this point, and with nice tank spread and bio spread, I should be able to inflict some nice damage. I did take out this base. I think he's probably rebuilding, and I do scan to check that he is rebuilding. I do want to deny that. Try and keep him on like a 2 base economy just like me. I know he probably has this base, but I mean, he is lobbing a bunch of infested Terrans down in my tank range, so I don't really see the point of that. Back up here, I really just need to get rid of that 1 Ling. I do produce planetaries, and I do send a bunch of Marines there to take that out. And now it's time for me to advance, because I'm maxed out. I'm backing up this army with more tank bio, and I can start to encroach in this space, because that means all the forces that are here cannot help out the other parts of his army unless they go through mine. So I can take out this base, I can take out this base, I can even go looking up there to start trying to put on some pressure there. And the Zerg's put in a really dangerous position right now. The attack spread is immaculate right now. +3 is finished. He's pretty low into Ultras as well. A lot of them just died in that desperate counterattack attempt. And it looks like the opponent just leaves. He knows he's pretty screwed at this point. Yeah, looking back at home, he has just a bunch of Lings, a lot of Infestors with a lot of energy, but I mean, you know, Infestors just aren't the units that they used to be. And yeah, so that was a pretty cool little game there. I'm just kind of using the metagame to my favor, where a lot of the Zerg players are trying to kind of emulate Life's playstyle from MLG and trying to do a lot of early Baneling or Roachling all-ins. And I'm capitalizing on that by going into early tanks after a Reaper opening to kind of scout out exactly what my opponent's doing, into a reasonably timed 3rd. There's a lot of bio tank production to slowly like creep out there and really fortify my positions, and eventually just push out and kill him. Yep. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I do hope you guys enjoyed this one. I definitely enjoyed playing this one. TvZ's been a lot more fun now that Terran is allegedly slightly OP now. They do have a slight advantage in this matchup, and I do believe even at my skill level, I feel it becoming a bit easier. And hopefully I'll be putting on some more content soon. So I'll see you guys later.